The first thing I want to talk to you about today is being a content creator. Because holy shit. Holy shit. If you want this to be your life, not as a hobby, not as a job, if you want it to absorb you, I'm letting you know right now, and this is a short fucking thing. You cannot do it alone once you start getting bigger. You can't. I have been developing overlays, sound effects. I've been doing overlays, sound effects, design, motion graphics, all of that. Sitting here rendering. My computer has not turned off in the last 8 days. I am doing all of this work on the odds that, with everybody I've included and everybody who's sending me their videos and everything, I am assuming that I'm probably going to produce this for an audience of about 20. I am betting that as season 4 slowly approaches, more and more people are going to start getting more and more excited for it. And I might get a nice I might get a nice 40. You know, I might get a nice 40 for the intro. And then people will be like, "Okay, we've seen it all. Now what?" Right? As a content creator, you have to accept that whether you want to or not. We are no longer in an age where tools are not accessible to you. There are free alternatives and there are ways to get non-free alternatives. Yar! That I will not mention here. That puts you on the same playing field as anybody else who is starting out putting things up online. What you need to accept as a human being is that monetization of your ideas will not come easily. Because all of us, and I really mean it, my video essayists, my live streamers, my car content creators, my fighting game content creators, my meme makers, my arts, my math, my academics, my history, all of it. Once you enter the internet realm, there is no paid per hour. Somebody has to fund you. You, in turn, will eventually have to fund other people to work under you. It is the only way to keep up a schedule, as daunting as mine. Do not take me as an example of hard work. Because I've blown past hard work. Right now, I am just a steam engine. And we are seeing where this train is going to go. Advice for you. You want to be a content creator, start slow. Don't quit your 9 to 5. Take time out and learn. Pick up a tutorial when you get home from work. Practice the tutorial. Make something. Cut it off there. Because what you are going to do is something that I have done multiple times. And that is exhaust yourself to the point of no return. You will be asking yourself multiple times, I'm doing such great work. I'm doing so this. I'm doing so that. I'm doing this. And why isn't nobody? It's a begging game. It's a begging game. And if you want to be big, you have to both be humble and confident. Because one way or another, capitalism will put you in a position where you have the abject opportunity to take money from someone else's. I'm competing with what, 1 million streamers? The fact that I get a double-digit audience is already unheard of because there are thousands of channels, tens of thousands of channels that get 0 viewers. And a lot of those people want to stay there. They're not streaming for an audience. They're streaming for their friends. They have a hangout. You know, I'm going to turn on the Twitch stream so you guys can see what happened. If you want to be a content creator, learn to crawl before you walk. Because most people who jump into this really do press that go live button and think that's all it takes. You're just going to be famous. I know you've heard this a million times before, but I'm telling you as somebody who was in it, there are levels to how deep you can get into this. Take your time with each level. Because if you go the route I took and took all, like, I've already learned how to be a media personality. I've had training. I went to school to speak the language. Shout out to my Lou Ratchet people. You knew that reference. I went to school to speak the language. I went to school to speak the language. I was a music student who transitioned into a film student who had a minor in journalism. I took speech classes, and eventually, at the end of the speech classes, every speech professor was like, you don't need to be in college. You need to be on the radio. You need to be in news broadcasting. You can actually adapt yourself into a middle American accent. You have the breath control. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Marquise Green reporting to you live from Channel 5 News. I was already there for this. So I have an edge that's a little bit different than the target audience of this. But for you, the person who clicks live and hopes to be able to figure out enough stuff to do when you're, and this is almost specifically to people who talk on the internet, because there are a lot of people who just upload like clips and it's decent enough, funny Warzone moments, etc. Yes, yes, this is not an old thing, but I'm telling you, if you want to be a content creator, focus on being an artist first. Focus on being an artist first. Because the love of the art will naturally carry you to want to do this. And I've said it to you, and we're coming close to it. It's been 3 years of me being a streamer. How do I feel now? And we're going to watch the first and second. It's been 3 years. At the point in my career where I envision myself, I could absorb all of a big streamer's audience and not miss a beat. But that's because I have years of experience public speaking, talking in front of hundreds, thousands. Like, I'm already used to being in the limelight. For you, the person who just clicked go live, that shit is haunting. You do not want a chat that never stops moving. You do not want 9,000 opinions being thrown at you every minute. With that being said, my warning to you is this, or my advice. Well, warning. As you see on the screen right there, it says, don't do this shit for the money because you'll burn out really quick. If you do it because you love it, the money and audience will eventually come around. Ask yourself where you want to be with what you're doing in the next week. And the answer that you come up with will tell you how far you think you're shooting with your dreams. If you say, I want one new follower in a week, you are immediately going to say to yourself, that's not a good goal. Because I can easily go poach a viewer from a chat or get a shout out and probably get a follow. So you're going to say to yourself, okay, well, instead of 1, how about 5? And then you're going to look at your stats and say, I've only gotten 3 in the last week. I could do 5. If I could get 3 without promoting myself, I could do 5. On the day I got the most followers was Wednesday around 6 p.m. So I started streaming at 5, 6 p.m. came around. Everybody who followed me came back. You eventually figure out your cycle. What I'm telling you to do is pay attention to what you want. Ask yourself these questions every time you wake up. Because if you want this to be a lifestyle for you, you will have to approach mortality way quicker than anyone else. Because you are documenting every single thing you do and say on a platform. YouTubers are kind of lucky here because they get to edit shit. But there are people who live stream on YouTube and there are people who live stream on TikTok. If you want to be a YouTuber who makes videos, you're going to have to edit, which means you're going to have to go out and film. So when you ask yourself, I want 1,000 subscribers, do you want them next week? Or do you want them in a year? You see? You're already planning shit. Now, again, you could probably click on any one of these self-help videos and they'll sit there and tell you, well, and we're going to watch one today on our stream, but you won't be seeing this. They're going to tell you, oh, here's the best way to grow your audience. And here's these cool little things that you can add that add to the screen. Every big streamer you ever see will never have any of that. Why? Why? It's too chaotic. It's too noisy. It doesn't make any sense. Some people have a chat full of 80,000 people and don't even put the chat on the screen. It's you. At the end of the day, if I switch to Warzone streaming every single day, you see all these people in my chat right now, they still gonna be here. You know why? Because me saying that doesn't even sound right. He wouldn't do that because there's no need for me to. Just like there's no need for you to conform to whatever is the popular topic. Be yourself. Millions of people use this platform. I promise you, if you want it, 40,000 of the million people will come see you. But you have to say that first. Every chatter I have in here knows my expectation. This shit gotta blow up. This shit gonna blow up. You know why I tell them that? Real shit. Me to you. The viewer to me to you. You know why I tell them that? Because it's daunting to try to find yourself in a chat full of 20,000 people. So they get to enjoy every moment before it happens because they know I'm doing it for them. That's why they all have the VIP badges. That's why they all subscribe. They know what's coming. Everybody else don't know what's coming, but I already know what goals and what notes I need to hit. So I don't care about the goals now. I care more about the content I'm putting out because now I'm having fun with it. Now I don't have anxiety when I press the go live button. I know it's popping. Are you at that position in your life right now where you could look at your content and say, I know it's popping? Look at that. You planning again. Yeah, my content's great. Okay, look at it. What's your most highly watched video? Do you look at it and cringe? Do you want to make a second of those? Do you want to make a third of those? If you say no right now, then that's not your fault. That's the algorithm for promoting something that you didn't even think was going to blow up. Do you play into that, or do you try to build your own brand outside of that? Many people will say, play into it. It's the popular thing. You end up like Nick Avocado. See, it's not hard to look ahead of yourself and ask yourself about situations and people and places and things that have already happened. But you got to ask yourself that question because there's no video online that will tell you, ask yourself that. All them self-help videos, all that shit, none of them ask you to just ask yourself this question. And I know because I watched them and I still made a better one. I'm the Paradigm Shift, and I will see you in the next one.